How's it going, guys? Odds and Ends RC here. Please like and subscribe. Today we're going to be taking a look at this new speed controller that's on the market. It's the ISDT 70. It's a new budget speed controller. It's supposed to be comparable to the Hobbywing Quick Run 1080. It comes in at about $25. I picked it up off of Amazon, and the Hobbywing Quick Run 1080 usually runs about $40 to $45. And it's a great speed controller. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. Supposedly this one, even though it's cheaper, has more options than it. I bought it to put on this TWS CTS chassis I put together in the last video and went over. It was kind of a little budget trail truck I got, and I wanted to keep the cost down on it, so that's why I got this ESC. But take a look at what you get here. Comes with a real nice box, user manual in English and Japanese. Apparently this is your heat shrink tubing for soldering their connectors on. And this is your lead that goes to your receiver, which is kind of short. Wish it would have been a hair longer. This is the speed controller itself. Very nicely built. Aluminum front and back. Has two plugins on it, labeled exactly the same for some reason. Probably about the same size as the Quick Run 1080. Pretty close to it. And then it comes with this gigantic on and off switch that hopefully once you use it for programming or what have you, hopefully it can be taken off and left off, and you can just unplug the battery and plug in the battery to turn it off and on. That would be nice. So one of the things I don't like about the Quick Run is the on-off switch glowing red all the time. But I want to put me some a DIN connector on here and some motor wires, figure out which wires do what here, and download the app. I believe it's called ISDT Go, and see what that's about. And once I got everything put on and downloaded, we'll come back on and go from there. Alright, guys, got it put on there. I'll clean up the wires a little better later. I just used double-sided tape and stuck it to the skid plate deal here and wired it to the motor. I was out on my 4mm bullet connectors, so I just went ahead and did it straight. I'll add in some connectors later. I gotta say, I ran into some issues with it. The instructions that come with it, I followed it 4 or 5 times on setting it up, and you calibrate your remote to the ESC, and it's supposed to beep so many times after you pull the trigger and go to neutral, and it never would do it in order. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I did it several times and it just wasn't happening. So I just I downloaded the ISDT Go app, and then after that I just kind of tossed the instructions. And once I downloaded the app, turn the truck on, turn the radio on. I am using a FlySky GT3C. It's kind of a budget radio I use with everything I got. I have several of them. They work great. And turning this thing on, once you got everything plugged in, you just hold the gigantic power button for a second and it kicks on to the green light. The instructions tell you to keep holding it down and turn it to the flashing blue light to bind with the app, but I found that you do not have to do that. far as the app goes, here's the ISD Go. That's what the icon looks like. Click on that. And for some reason, your Bluetooth has to be on, which is normal. But for some reason, the app will not work unless you turn your location on. Don't know why that is, but whatever. You click on that. And you'll see this page. Give it a couple seconds. And when I first installed this app, and the first time I tried running it, it kept trying to do an update. And the update would go to 100%, and then it would say some kind of timeout deal. And I did it like 3 times. It said timeout every time. And for no rhyme or reason, it finally started working. It never actually installed the update, but it started working. So this is what your screen looks like here. And to get into your settings, to change your settings, hit that settings button. This is what your settings look like. And like I said in the instructions, it was trying to get me to calibrate the radio to begin with before I even downloaded the app or anything. And I found it's just easier just to click on this, and it take you into a calibration page to where you calibrate the radio. And that's a lot simpler than doing what the instruction says. And as far as mode selection here, I click it on Rock Crawler, and every single time I go back into this app, it's changed to something else. It will say custom. It will say on-road car. It's always something different. I don't know why. And then primary, I just kind of set everything. Set it on LiPo. You have the option for LiPo or NiCad, nickel metal hydride. I got LiPo, so I set it on LiPo. Hit the check mark. And I have 3S. Even though it was set at 3S, it for some reason went back to 2. Set that at 3. For now, I just put it on 9.5. I'll probably change that later to 10 something. BEC voltage is kind of nice. It's got a big realm of what you can choose from. You can go all the way up to 7.5. Make sure your receiver can take that if you set it that high. But for now, I'm just setting it at 6. It's kind of a good average. And then your motor rotation, depending on how you wired your motor up, forward or reverse, pretty standard. And you hit the check mark to save all of these settings. And the first time I was using this, it said save failed, timeout something, and for no rhyme or reason, it just started working again. Not sure what the deal with that was. Down here in the advanced settings, your PWM frequency. Best way I can explain that is if your motor is noisy when you're first starting off or just sitting there, you're better off to get a higher number. This one goes up to 20. I've tried every single different setting here. I just stick it on 20, and the motor's really quiet. It seems to start off cleaner, slower. Starting force is kind of how much juice it offers to it when it first starts out. I've tried 1 and 2, and it seems like 3 is kind of the lowest you want to go. And braking force, I've changed it on all different settings, and it doesn't really seem to matter. Of course, this is a gear reduction transmission on this crawler here, so it may not matter because of that. I don't know, but I've been playing with it, and it doesn't seem to matter. Active drag brake level. It's one of these two. I think it's this one here. When I set that, the motor starts humming. I'll give you an example. Let's enable it. Stick it on 7, 6. Save it. Then save it down here. Okay, then we get out of this. And you're back to your home screen here. And you hear that? That motor is just sitting there cogging, making all sorts of noises. That cannot be good. Not sure what's going on there. Let's go back into it. And once you're in the settings, you cannot control or move the vehicle. It's only when you back out of the settings can you test your settings. So, and see up here, like I was saying a while ago, it doesn't save what I had. Even though I had a rock crawler, now it says custom. So, go back down here to advanced. And we'll take this active drag breaker level. We're going to disable it. Now we'll go back to test it. And now it does not make the noise. And really, it's got a good little, you can adjust it down to a pretty little good slow crawl. Get my finger steady here. As far as that goes, it seems just as good as the Hobbywing Quick Run 1080. One other thing that I noticed about it, which it probably won't bother me a lot of the time, is like I said, running this Fly Sky here. But if I floor it, let off, and go the opposite direction, I don't know if you can see that or hear that, it will glitch and go forward for a second, then it will go backwards. Forward, let off, it'll glitch forward for a second before it goes backwards. No matter how much I play with the settings, there's no getting rid of that. Nothing changes that. Same thing with reverse. Let off, forward. It will glitch in reverse for a fraction of a second before it goes forward. Why? I have no clue. But none of the settings will get rid of that. So, I don't know if there's an update or if the update's not working that fixes some of these issues. So far, I'm not very happy with it. It definitely needs some work. And really, this Bluetooth thing is kind of neat, but the whole card thing with the Hobbywing Quick Run is actually better, and it works better. It's just the easy process. It works right every time, and no glitches, no issues. And this here just needs some work. As far as the settings go, it does have some settings. Like down here, you can rename it. You can give it like a throttle curve to where when you're pulling the trigger, it starts off slower, or you can give it a brake curve. You can change the startup music. It has a dumb startup tone when you first turn it on. You can restore the factory settings. Really, some of the settings you'll never use, so I don't know that I would say that it has more settings than the Quick Run. I'm not done with this. I'm not losing all hope on it yet. Hopefully there'll be an update that'll fix these glitches, or maybe it just doesn't like the Fly Sky radio. I don't know. If any of you guys had any experience with this thing, let me know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It's always a possibility. But as far as the actual usability, the way it is now, I don't know. It's got a good slow speed to it. You know, it doesn't seem to get hot or anything like that. It shows your temperature of the ESC on here. It's in Celsius. It shows your voltage left in your battery. Yeah, I'm getting kind of low. But I think the potential is there. It just needed to be tested a little more before it was released. But like I said, I built this TWS CTS chassis in the last video, and I was wanting to keep the price down on it. This is a really neat chassis, guys. It's really smooth, really nice little trail truck. I'll have another video coming up on it soon when I do a body on it. But as far as this ESC, I don't think I'd recommend it yet. I think I'd wait a while and kind of see if there's some updates to it or something like that. Again, I tried this with two different phones. Same result with both phones. This is the Galaxy 10 and I had a Galaxy 21. Same result. Just kind of finicky. Just needs some work. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said, if you guys know anything more about it, let me know in the comments. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.